Well, yeah, brother, I'm glad you like that one. It's funny. I had a crime TikTok for a long time till I got what I desired out of that. And then I switched full time to my martial arts fight game TikTok because that's my passion, right? But we ignore how much the two intersect in their own ways, right? I remember I was going through Oklahoma City, and anyone who's been in the feds a couple times like me knows that you're going through Oklahoma City as a transfer center, right? To wherever they're going to put you in your final destination. And the marshals kind of interview you a little bit. And my jacket's very interesting. It says Gambino Associate, boxer, black belt, right? Essentially giving a warning like, hey, this dude's a bad mofo. And I smile at that. Obviously, most people don't have jackets like that, even in prison. And at that booth where the marshals quiz you, the marshal looked at it. He goes, "You mind if I ask you what you're a black belt in?" I said, "Well, if you want to get specific, Tong Sudo. Why?" And he says to me, "Because most criminals don't have the discipline to wait years and years and years and years to get what they want." Meaning, most criminals don't become black belts because they don't have the patience to do what you need to do to gain that, right? Well, whether you're talking about, and I thought it was a very, very interesting insight. I'm not saying that Marshall was wrong. I hear him and I understand it, but it also misses the reason people get involved in crime to begin with. I mean, I was born into it, right? My father was an arch criminal, and I didn't really have much choice. That would have had to been the exception. I was, as it was, I was the rule. If that was what was going to happen to my life. But there's other gangsters. I mean, Tommy Patero, they call him Tommy Karate. Trained in Japan actually, and he was like a known associate of one of the crime families. I don't know if it was Bonanno or whatever it was. But there's a lot of reasons people land up in criminal situations. Most of it is where you start, right? Like for me, like street kids, the streets all around them, it's going to envelop them. That's just a part of it, right? And the video you really liked was talking about people in that life taking advantage of others who are trying to live a straight life but don't realize that once you cross that line it gets a little dangerous. And it is what it is, man. I mean, life has temptations for all of us. We have to stay in the straight and narrow. One of the things about martial arts that's so important is the discipline. Even if there's no discipline in class, guess what? It takes discipline to get there and to actually train, right? So as the mental discipline, it's not so much a boot camp anymore, but you're still showing up and you're still having to train to get better, and that is discipline in and of itself. And yeah, it's been my martial arts book, I talk about that. It was my first spiritual awakening because I didn't have any other spirituality in my life. And I think that's what martial arts can be. That's why martial arts often fight game, people talk about it saved my life, right? They put their discipline somewhere instead of the streets. And yeah, there it is. Everybody like and follow for more on the fight game.